everybody, Danielle Egnew here. I wanted to talk to you today about the gift of empathy and how I am seeing that this most powerful psychic gift is being completely confused for depression left and right. Now, before I start, obviously depression is a chemical matter as well as an emotional matter. But what I'm talking about is empaths everywhere coming down with this massive amount of depression out of nowhere. Let me explain to you how this works and what's going on, and this may help you. What is empathy? Well, being empathic is different than having empathy. I could say to you, oh man, I'm so sorry you lost your job. However, if I'm an empath, I'm going to physically feel what it feels like when you went through the horrible pain of loss. That's being an empath. We as empaths feel everything. We pull in energies through the ethers, through the heart chakra, and we decode those energies for bits and pieces of data that represent themselves through emotionality. That's called being an empath, guys. Now think about it. We're in some very transitional times right now. There's a lot of fear flying. There's a lot of transition flying. If you're an empath, you are breathing in that fear through that heart chakra, decoding all of that fear information, looking at it, depressiveness, freakouts, and storing it in the heart as you process it. What you might even be feeling might not even be yours. It may be your coworkers. It may be your homes. It may be associated with family members or none of the above. You as an empath just may be picking up what's out here in the ethers. Now listen, being an empath isn't all negative. We can also as empaths take in huge amounts of joy, huge amounts of healing. We can suck in all kinds of great stuff if it's present. So, before you decide that you need to get on a bucket of pills to fix something that you've never experienced before, let's take a look at our ether barrier. It's really thin right now. Let's take a look at the transitions on the earth. They're flying like crazy. Let's take a look at every single person on the earth is born to be an empath. Now that aptitude, shall we say, is going to vary in people. Naturally, human beings are empathetic. Yet being an empath is having a psychic gift that's then again this much stronger than the natural propensity to be empathic with somebody, okay? So listen, if you've had the blues lately and you don't know why, if something's been going down and it's not usually your style to be stuck in a rut that long, and keep in mind, gang, it's normal for people to go up and down. They're called biorhythms, and it's also called being human. However, if you found yourself just stuck underneath the heel of depression and you've not been diagnosed with a condition that would be consistent with that, sidebar, not that I am trying to get in the grill of the psychological community. I am not a mental health practitioner and I am not a medical doctor, all right? Yet, I have seen people in my practice that have been prescribed medicine for depression and they're trying to fix here. What's going on here? So I'm going to give you some little bullet points right now. Just barely skim the surface of this empath thing. Some tips that may help you get through this heavy ether barrier time frame with some of the fear we're just kind of tossing off as we go through these transitions. All right, the first one I want to talk to you about is a stone. This is going to sound kind of Harry Potter, but it works. Okay, so stick with me. It's a stone called black tourmaline. Black tourmaline, by the very nature of its composition, takes a sampling of my body's frequency and resonation, and then it starts to oscillate that way. So if here comes Mr. Low Vibration in, instead of hitting my heart chakra and having my heart chakra pick out all that nastiness, it hits the black tourmaline first. The black tourmaline then takes this low vibration, gets it up to speed, and delivers it to the heart chakra. In contrast, if it's a signature coming in that's of a very high vibration and it hits that black tourmaline, that can also be very destructive to the heart chakra. That high vibration coming in, if it's a little too much, is hitting the black tourmaline, which like a power converter is flipping it around to a frequency that we can receive. And honest to God, it's just like wearing earplugs on an airplane. It helps cut frequency dissonance, okay? You can get black tourmaline at your local stone shops. You can get it on Amazon. You are gonna wanna wear it right over the heart chakra. Now, if you combine that black tourmaline with another stone that's called hematite, this is going to help you exponentially. Why? Because hematite is a naturally ferromagnetic stone. Maybe to a tiny degree, maybe to a larger degree. What does that mean? It's magnetized, okay? And it kind of feels heavy. It's got a very heavy iron content in it. You're going to want to put that hematite with Mr. Black Tourmaline. I don't know why the black tourmaline's a boy, but whatever, works. You want to put that hematite there because hematite is a grounding stone. Because of its ferromagnetic qualities, it's going to work with the other electromagnetic organs in your body, the heart and the brain, okay? Obviously, the brain is full of chemistry. If we're depressed, it's because we're trying to process something, and all of those neurons and all those synapses and all those chemicals aren't exactly playing well with one another. Oftentimes, it's because what we're pulling in through that heart chakra is not inspiring a response that's very uplifting. So if you couple that hematite, which is a grounding stone, with the black tourmaline, which is a filtering stone, you're going to actually give some support to that brain, that electromagnetic organ, by centrally locating that hematite in an area in the chi structure that's central, okay? So you've got all this energy swirling around here. Here's the hematite anchoring you in, and it's going to help with fogginess of the brain. I've been hearing this from empaths a lot. I'm foggy, I'm depressed, I can't get through things. You want to know why? Because when we're struggling in the body, gang, we reach in and we pull the string and we eject out. And we kind of trail partially out of the body like a balloon. That's called being non-grounded. You hear that in the metaphysical community all the time. He's not grounded, she's not grounded. It just means you're not seated in your body. Hematite helps with grounding. Now, let's add one more stone to this little cocktail we've got here. If you can get yourself either some good old-fashioned run-of-the-mill rose quartz, that actually brings and amplifies the heart energy outward. So instead of you being inundated with everybody's stuff, you're then able to bring what you have going on, the joy, the love of the God or creator within, outward. And that helps you exponentially represent yourself in the world. So we've got black tourmaline, we've got hematite, we've got a little rose quartz. You can wear it all at once, you can wear it on a chain, you can buy little pouches and stick them in there. The size doesn't really matter, gang, although I will say with black tourmaline, size does matter a little bit, because the larger piece of tourmaline you have, the more resonant frequency sampling you're going to have of your own body sitting out in front of the heart chakra. Now, right now, I'm wearing a stone that's called K2. You can barely recognize this poor little guy because K2 is typically a white granite-based stone, and I'm not exactly sure what makes this blue stuff in here. Mine's been turning some funky colors as I've worn it to do readings, and it's actually going a little transparent on me. But normally K2 is a very light white color with flecks and some blue stuff. K2 actually just helps stabilize between the root chakra and the crown chakra and brings out whatever you've got. And it's just kind of my buddy at this point. So if you want to combine the black tourmaline, the hematite, and that awesome piece of rose quartz, you're going to want to wear it, ladies, right between Mike and Ike here, or gentlemen, you're going to want to wear it right between your pecs. This is where the heart chakra is, all right? So wear it low. You don't have to wear it like jewelry. You can wear it under your clothes. The other aspect of dealing with this depression, or really filtering out negative vibrations in the atmosphere, is going to sound ridiculous, but it's fabulous. A $6.99 bag of Epsom salts. Magnesium sulfate, gang. It's a crystalline content. It dissolves into the water. And as EMF, or electromagnetic frequencies, that these big emotions and energies carry hit our body, instead of hitting the heart chakra, if you're soaking in a tub up to here, it hits that magnesium sulfate in the tub. And all of that electromagnetic energy is stored in the crystalline content of the magnesium sulfate. Now, we know Epsom salts for back in the day because they take swelling out of the body. Well, guess what else they take? They take swelling out of your chakral system. This is a true story. Your chakras store all kinds of energies that maybe aren't to your best interest, and it's part of how you navigate your environment. Again, chakral points work like aquarium filters. So when you get into a bathtub, filled with Epsom salts. What you're doing is you are telling that electromagnetic energy around you, guess what? Instead of storing in my body, which is around 68% water, and not just water, but the same salinity as the ocean, instead of being attracted to my saltwater body, and again, sidebar, what conducts energy better, freshwater or saltwater? Ding, 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 saltwater. So instead of having all that energy coming to your portable ocean that you're packing around, it gets to get into the magnesium sulfate of the bathtub. Those salts suck up that crystalline content, sucks up all of that dissonance out in the atmosphere. And it also pulls it out of the chakral set. Now, the subsequent effect of magnesium sulfate on the physical body is to lessen swelling. Well, why? Because swelling really has to do with an irritation of particle matter in any place in the body. And we're not exactly sure why swelling occurs except for irritation. In fact, all disease goes back to swelling. So if you get yourself in an Epsom salt bath, not just a shower, but a bath, gang, soak. Look, I know we all want to get there on time, but for God's sakes, it's not going to kill you to get into the bathtub for 15 to 20 minutes every other night. And if you want to be kind to yourself, do it every night. Put on some music. Let that bathtub soak up the resonant vibration of the music. Let that be developed and let it be transmuted into the heart chakra. Empaths, this is going to help. And I'll tell you what, even if you don't consider yourself an empath, this is going to help. You want to start taking some of the load of depression off? Let's start working on taking away the energies that are hammering the heart chakra and the third eye and the crown and cause dissonance. Start with the heart, empaths. It's very important. So now that you know what you can do in this time frame, before you decide you're off your rocker, before you go get yourself pummeled with pharmaceuticals that may or may not actually help, because newsflash, we're not exactly sure how all of those antidepressant medications work. Even though, thank God, we do have them, there are folks whose lives I know are deeply impacted in a positive way with these pharmaceuticals. Yet if you've not been diagnosed with something that they know for a fact could be assisted, why don't you try this? And even if you have been diagnosed with something, why don't you try this? Because the flip side of this is, again, I have seen many people in my practice that have been diagnosed with mystery depressive disorders that are empaths. So let's deal with the energies of the body. Let's deal with the heart chakra. Let's deal with getting a little more exercise, proper nutrition, and for God's sakes, try out the black tourmaline, the hematite, a little rose quartz to bring you into the world, and a nice Epsom salt bath. And then you tell me how you're feeling in about 2 weeks. Take care, you guys.